So let's see how she feels. Didn't rub. That's another thing. Less body roll means less rub. Hey guys, it's Tiny today. Today we're working on our BRZ and Eibach. Our friends over there sent us some sway bars to install in this bad boy to make sure she's handling just right. So we're just taking this little under tray doodad off so that we can gain access to this bracket here. Set that to the side. So according to Eibach, looks like they're not liars. However, the new BRZ has an extra little giblet on here we gotta take off, but that ain't nothing but a thing. Monkey see, monkey do. That's what I always say. Subaru really did this good. So this little bracy guy here is what the sway bar attaches to. So you just unbolt this and the whole thing comes out once you disconnect it from the coilover. There is one bolt that's kind of in a annoying spot with the shield on, but I've got some solutions here so that I don't have to take the whole damn thing off, because we like to work smart, not hard. So, and you can't fit the big electric guy in there. You gotta go to the old hand clippings. So as you can see, we're about 6 degrees of separation from being out. All we have to do is disconnect the sway bar end links. I'm gonna do the easier thing, which is not what Eibach says in their instructions, to disconnect it from the strut, just because there's more room outside of the car to reconnect the end links, and there's a really easy access from the end links up top, so it makes really no difference which end you disconnect it from. Just make sure you reconnect them at the end of the day, because otherwise your sway bar doesn't do anything. So as you can see, disconnected the sway bar from the strut. Like I said, it doesn't really matter which end you take it off of as long as you take it off, because otherwise it won't come out. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and then minimal wiggling and this thing will be out, and we'll be ready to put the new one in. Oh, nut. Just like that. It's pretty genius on Subaru's part to do it like this. Obviously, if you watched our Evo 10 sway bar installation video, it was a little bit more time consuming to do the front sway bar than this was. So this it's kudos to Subaru on that one. Mitsubishi, we already know you got work to do. You gotta know what's going on over there. You guys are sleeping. You guys are asleep at the line. That'll never happen again. You just never, sway bar end links just never come out like this. Unless they're brand new. I'm being careful here to not mix these up, because I don't want to be extra heckin' confused. There you go. Stock sway bar made of licorice removed. Also, with these, you have 2 points of adjustment instead of 1 on the sway bar. This just allows you to change the fulcrum point. So you can change the dynamics and the characteristics of the sway bar by changing the pivot point in which the end link connects to, and that will either stiffen or soften the feel of the sway bar, and there are, desired effects for either. We are going to set these to the softer setting, which is right. Eibach has these labeled as A and B, and they have an accompanying spec sheet to kind of give you a rough idea of when you should use the different link points. Obviously, this being a longer lever, this is the softer setting on the bar, just because we still want this car to ride relatively nice and not be super stiff. And then obviously it's as easy as unbolting and rebolting to go to the stiffer setting. Xavier, this is a two-man operation, so you gotta get it under the butt flap. There you go. So like everything, this is always better with friends. A little two-man operation to kind of get this in here. It's always good to have a helping hand. So you gotta make sure you're nice and easy on the trigger finger. Now we're obviously on the rear of the vehicle, and we're going to put the rear sway bar in, which is almost as easy, if not easier, than the front. So we're going to get to it. All we really needed to do was take the wheels off, and honestly, probably didn't even have to do that, but I wanted to make my life easier, not harder. So here we go. There's no threads there. Woo. Groovy. You know what I thought about as a video? That'd be kind of funny, because all these YouTubers like challenges. Like, what if we got like a bunch of people together, and like we all had to do the same task, like put like a timed, like put a coilover in a car and see who can do it fastest. Me versus Charlie versus Dalen versus Xavier versus like Alex Mauser, and just watch me absolutely f***ing crush them. I have a feeling that maybe I'm gonna have to take the muffler off. No, it's kind of tight. So as you guys can see, sway bar is out. So now we're gonna get to assembling the new Eibach rear sway bar and get that in the car, and we'll be all done. So as you can see here, we have our tried and true MAPerformance BRZ catback exhaust on here. The really cool thing about this is this should be the first mod you do to your BRZ, but not only that, when you're doing your second mod, your rear sway bar, you got a handy dandy V-band right here. Just unattach the V-band, sway bar comes right out. Now if you had a factory exhaust, your life would not be as easy because you'd have to pull the whole thing down. So I'm telling you, first mod, bam. Second mod, Eibach sway bar. Here, look at this. I can bend this with my foot. You think this, what, 2,700? I don't know how much it weighs. Over a ton. You think that's gonna have any issue moving that under suspension? Look at this. Oh, don't look at that. Sorry, Eibach. That's taking a lot more force to bend not even a quarter of what the factory one is. So, you know we're in some stiff hands here. When you put your sway bar in and you put your end links on when it's on the ground, be sure that when you put it back in, that these are facing roughly like this. Otherwise, they'll get caught on everything and you have to take it back out a little bit and reposition them. Luckily, it's 4 bolts that holds this in, so you're not in the worst shape. Just like that. That's what we call success. Now you gotta put the old V-band clipping back on. and done. There you have it, boys. Eibach sway bars, front and rear, installed on the car. Honestly, not that bad. Like we kind of touched over some little things about the car that would make it easier, make it harder, things to look out for. Overall, a really simple install that really doesn't take that much time. Easily something you could do in your driveway on jack stands. We are gonna go for a little testy drive in my favorite little area next to our Cottage Grove facility, a little Gray Cloud Island run, as the locals know it. So I wanna be able to feel like how responsive and like the characteristics of the car in and out of a corner are. That's going to be where the sway bar is going to shine. Is like, does the car want to rotate? Does the car stick? Is the car understeer? That's going to be the determining factor of, is your sway bar set up correctly for your coilovers, for your tire, for the track. It's all going to change. These are a tunable thing. So there's a lot that goes into it more than just installing. Unless you just, want an upgraded bar and you set it to the soft setting, it's obviously going to be miles better than the factory, but there is some adjustability that can be done. So let's see how she feels.
We didn't rub.
Didn't rub. That's another thing. Less body roll means less rub. And this car does have factory brakes, so it's a little, I don't want to get them heated up too much. Yeah, that felt pretty good. I felt a little bit of slip in the rear, meaning it could be a little stiff. This road is absolute shite. It could be a little stiff for our tire choice, but I don't think it's overall too bad. And the rear is set to the stiffer of the two settings. But yeah, overall these feel really good, and it helped with, we had a little bit of rubbing going on with these completely factory, like non-rolled, non-cut fenders, not even pulled. These wheels have a little bit of poke, so, and not a lot of stretch. So, but I mean, this is a long sweeping corner. Hopefully no deer. A little bit of rub on like the really hard corner, but there was a bounce to it too that you can't fault it too much. But if the car feels really stable and like really content, I would love to take this to BIR and see how it feels. Now we're back after our little test drive. The car handles great. The sway bars definitely help keep the car really planted. There wasn't really any portion where I felt like we were pushing the car too far past the tire limits or past the suspension limits. I think the car is set up really, really comfortably for the power it's at and kind of like the goals in mind with it. So I'm super happy with everything that's gone into it. Now moving forward, we just got some cool aero stuff to throw on it, and it'll be a pretty certified street ripper. And then maybe some other stuff coming down the pipeline. But honestly, the car is set up super great with our Evolved Autosport coilovers, with the Eibach sway bars, these raised wheels. It's just phenomenal. Super happy with it. Super glad to be able to drive this and have fun with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.